Hello kiddos, today I'm teaching you how to make these cute emoji charms or magnets or whatever you guys want to use them for. You can even use them as buttons. It's totally up to you. The thing that you want to do, the emoji that you want to draw, and what you want to use it for. But first I'm going to teach you how to make this Play-Doh that we're going to create them for, because that's the main craft and the main idea behind this whole project. So it's pretty much made of three ingredients, simple ingredients that I'm sure you find them around your house. So you need flour, salt, and water. I'm using this bowl to just kind of measure the ingredients, but it's totally up to you if you want to add in more salt or less salt. I pretty much want to count 1 part of flour, a little bit less than a part of salt, but you can totally add equal parts of flour and salt, and then just mix these two dry ingredients together. Then at the mixing surface, since there is such a big quantity of salt, you will find out that the flour does not stick to your fingers as much as it would do if you would use just a little spoon of salt. So the more salt you add to this mixture, the less it will stick to your fingers. So just start mixing the two dry ingredients until you have them all mixed up together, and then just create a hole in the middle, and then start adding in water. I recommend that you use plain water from the water tap and just start adding in little by little. Now it will be a bit time consuming and you might not see anything coming up in the beginning, but just keep mixing and mixing. Don't add in too much water in the beginning, just add it little by little and do it until you're happy with the result. Now, how will you find out that you've had enough water? Well, you just have to add in little by little until the dough starts coming up together. Now, if you've played with flour before, you might realize that the flour will stick to your fingers crazily and it will get just so yucky and sticky. Well, because of so much salt in it, it will not stick to your fingers as much. It still does, but it will come up clean. And actually the mixing surface, as you can see, is just the table, the plain table, because it will not stick to the table. It's actually quite easy and less messy than it seems. I mean, depending on how many hands are gonna be there for the mixture, it will get a bit messy. But if you just keep adding little by little the water, it will get to a point where the dough just becomes a big blob of mass, or just a big mass of dough, and that's when it's pretty much ready to. That's when you have to stop adding in water. So as you can see here, it's starting to get all sticky together, and that's when I decide to stop adding in water. But then when I start mixing it together, when I start molding it, I realize that it's a bit tough, and as kids it will be difficult for you guys to mold it. So once I have that, I just add a few more drops of water, and that's pretty much it. The dough is ready to be used. So once you've played it and you've molded it and you've just punched it a few times, it's just time to start creating your emojis. Just take a small piece. I mean, the teacher will be in charge of giving each one of you an equal amount of dough, and if necessary, just make some more and just start decorating or start molding your own emoji, and you're pretty much free to design or create the emoji you want. And if you don't want to, you can totally make up one that you might want yourself. Now, if you are going to use it as a keychain, I recommend that you make a hole, you punch a hole into it before you let it dry, and that will just help it get it all homogeneous and make sure that you're not going to break it later. And for that, you're just going to use the help of a straw. And then I know that most of you are going to be so excited to do the poop emoji, so here I'm showing you how to do it. You're just going to have to roll the dough into a sausage and then just twirl it together into a little snake. Once you have it, just smash it with the palm of your hand and it's pretty much done. Once you have it shaped up into the shape that you want or into the form that you want, you've created the shape of your emoji, just let it dry overnight over a warm surface such as the heater or the radiator, whatever you have in your classroom or in your house. The next day, it's not going to be totally dry. I will turn it around so you can see it's still dark and a little bit soft on the other side, but you can start decorating what would be the face or the front of your emoji. And just to do that, take a pencil and draw the actual face, the smiley face that you want, and just use your inspiration. Maybe check at home with your parents or in classroom before you start drawing. Just ask your teacher to show you a few emojis that you could be drawing and use that as an example. Once you have drawn it with your pencil, it's time to start decorating it, to color it. So just use brushes and finger paint. And I recommend that you do it in layers. Don't apply all the colors at the same time. Apply a layer, let it dry a little bit, and then continue with the next layer. That way the colors will not start mixing around and your emoji will not look too messy. You will have to do this during your second day, once the Play-Doh has dried a little. And then for this, you're just gonna have to let it dry overnight and come back with it next day, the third day. For a third day, you just have to add in an extra protective layer by applying a little bit of white glue all over it, and just you want to cover your emoji with a thin layer of white glue just to give it some shine, make it more resistant, and make sure that if it gets wet by any chance, it's not going to get all smudgy and the colors are not going to mix in together. It's not going to get all messy. As you can see, all you need is just a little bit of white glue, and just start smearing your emoji around or start spreading that white glue all over. Now I remind you that you must keep the brushes clean, so make sure as soon as you finish applying the white glue, wash your brush and dry it off. Make sure that you can use it for your future projects. This will be done during the third day. Once you have finished, you can actually go around and help others, or maybe you can work on your worksheet and just let it dry over the warm surface. And at the end of your class or just before leaving, you can just take your keychain ring or a little piece of magnet strip and just attach it to your emoji, and you're pretty much free and done with it. So you're free to take it home and just decorate your fridge, or if you have a metallic window with them, or you can stick them to your school bag, to some notebook, maybe to a string and use it as a book sign. You're pretty much free to do whatever you want with it. I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye!